Am I the asshole? My fiancé wanted us to split everything 50-50 until I found out he had drowned us in debt.
My fiancé and I are both 26, and yesterday he sat me down for what he called a serious talk. According to him, I'm not contributing enough to our household, especially financially. It caught me off guard, but I listened, because technically, he wasn't wrong. He makes a lot more than I do, and we've always split the bills proportionally, roughly 80% him, 20% me. So I asked what he wanted me to pay now, and he said he wanted a strict 50-50 split. I asked if everything was okay at work, or if he needed to cut his hours, and he just shut down. No answer. Every time I tried to understand what happened or why he suddenly felt this way, he kept repeating the same sentence. This is how it's going to be. Take it or leave it. That exact phrase. To every single question. It felt like talking to a wall. No explanation, no reasoning, nothing. So I said, "All right, I'll take it." And then I asked if he already made a Zillow account or if he expected me to do it. He looked confused and asked why we would need Zillow. I told him that I can't afford half the rent in our current place, so we'll have to move into a one-bedroom apartment. That's when he got angry. He demanded to know why I didn't have savings. I told him I do have savings, but I'm not going to drain them just to pay rent. That's irresponsible and completely unsustainable. Then I started walking him through what our new budget would look like: food, entertainment, and how we'd probably need to sell both cars and switch to one cheaper one, because I can't pay half of an Audi and a Land Rover. I also said that date nights would have to get cheaper too. We could still go out, like Buffalo Wild Wings, but I'd prefer Thursdays, because that's when you get 2 orders of boneless wings for the price of one. Basically, if he wants a 50-50 split, then we're living within my means now, not his. He kind of agreed. But ever since then, he's been walking around the house furious. Not saying anything, but you can feel this cloud of anger around him. I sent him 6 Zillow listings. He said every single one was uninhabitable. Some of his reasons were fair, others weren't. Now he's saying I'm being unfair and manipulative, that he came to me with a serious relationship concern, and I'm making it impossible for him to talk to me, that I'm bulldozing him. Am I the asshole? Relevant comments. Comment 1. Someone asked what our salaries actually are. And honestly, that's fair. The whole situation makes more sense once you hear the numbers. They said maybe my fiancé resents not having more money, and maybe he's trying to motivate me to get a better job or a higher-paying career so we could both live some luxurious lifestyle. Like maybe, in his mind, having 200% of his income sounds better than 120. But even if that were true, he's still being an ass about the way he's handling it. A lot of people also suggested that someone might have told him I'm a gold digger, and that he expected me to break up with him, not to calmly start problem solving. Oop. I make around $35,000 a year. He makes about 120. There's no magical get-rich-instantly button I can press. I'm a preschool teacher. I don't have a college degree, and I definitely can't afford one without help or taking out massive loans. Comment 2. You're not the asshole. Something probably happened at his job, and he isn't ready to tell you yet. Try talking again. Show him what you can realistically afford long-term, and don't move toward marriage until the 2 of you are aligned financially. OP. I have asked about his job, and he won't give me a straight answer. The frustrating part is that I'm not even against downsizing. If he lost his job tomorrow, I'd sell everything we have, and I'd live with him in a trailer on just my income. But this doesn't feel like a financial discussion. It feels like some weird power play. Downvoted comment. It sounds like he's trying to make you more ambitious. Like, if you want to pay 50-50, then rise to my level. So either get a promotion or find a new job that pays what he makes. You're not the asshole, but he's a jerk for trying to force you into something without communicating. Oop. I honestly don't even know how I'd do that. There is no button that suddenly makes me wealthy. I'm a preschool teacher with no degree, and I can't afford to go back to school. Downvoted comment 2. If you can barely cover your basic bills, why the hell are you driving an Audi or a Range Rover? Classic lifestyle creep. If you can't afford rent, driving a luxury car is embarrassing and unrealistic. Oop. He bought me the Audi as a birthday present. I didn't even know about it until it showed up in the driveway, with a giant pink bow and confetti. Literally like a car commercial. He's always had a flair for the dramatic. Comment 3. You're not the asshole. What podcast does he listen to? Oop. I'm not totally sure, but I think Joe Rogan, Cumtown, and maybe a guy named Sam Hyde. He thinks they're funny. I honestly don't understand that kind of humor at all. Update number 1, 5 days later. Hey everyone. This whole thing blew up way more than I expected, so I figured I owed you a follow-up. The last time I posted was on Monday. That entire day I spent trying to sort out what I felt and what I was supposed to do next. There was a lot of silence between us, a lot of anger, and a lot of Reddit advice. Some of it really helpful, some not so much. And of course, a few people decided the whole thing was some kind of viral ad campaign for Buffalo Wild Wings, Audi, and Zillow. Honestly, if that were true, it would have solved our financial problems instantly. But no, unfortunately, it's not an ad. On Tuesday, when I got home from work, I walked up to him. He was on the elliptical, and as calmly as I could, I told him I had questions. And if he really wanted to marry me, he needed to be willing to answer them honestly. So I asked him straight out, "Do you think I'm a gold digger, yes or no?" And he said yes. I told him I'm not going to be in a relationship where I have to prove my worth by sacrificing my own stability. That turned into shouting, and then into a confession. It turns out we can't afford anything we have right now. We're drowning in credit card debt. Both of our cars are on the verge of being repossessed. And I had no idea. He had been cutting corners on actual necessities, including his psychiatric medication. Combined with a few comments from his family, it pushed him into a really dark place. My fiancé completely broke down and apologized for calling me a gold digger. And while that was good to hear, the whole situation shook me up so badly that I went to stay with a friend for a bit. Yesterday, we actually did go to Buffalo Wild Wings together, got the 2-for-1 boneless, and talked. A lot. I'm still using the word fiancé for now, and I really hope we can work through this. We talked about selling the cars, which we basically have no choice about, and about my income, his income, and the kind of life we realistically want to build. If we stay together, our lifestyle is going to change dramatically. We need to get out of debt. We need to get back on our feet. I know some people will say I'm stupid for not walking away immediately, but I can't do that. I can't look at the man I love, a man who stopped taking his medication because he was trying to build a good life for me, and just decide he isn't worth trying for. I have no idea what our future looks like anymore. And the wedding is very much postponed. Sorry, this update isn't fun. Comments to update number 1. Comment 1. Someone asked if he ever explained how the debt got so bad, because for things to spiral that far, there usually have to be more red flags. They warned me that it could be some kind of addiction. Gambling, substances, something that could ruin not just his life but mine too. They told me I needed to figure that out as soon as possible, and not to plan a wedding right now, because the man I was dealing with wasn't the man I thought I'd be marrying. Oop. He did tell me. It isn't gambling or drugs, like a lot of people assumed. It's an addiction to nice things. He grew up in a family where money was used as a replacement for love, so he convinced himself that the only way to show love was to create some fancy upscale lifestyle, one we absolutely couldn't afford. It's going to be hard to cut back on everything, but it's what we have to do. Additional OOP comments. I didn't write out every detail in the post, but yes, we went through how the debt got so huge, and I'm aware of almost everything now. I still need to look over a few accounts this weekend, but overall, Things are finally transparent. We're really reevaluating our relationship, and if we stay together, I'm going to take a much more active role in our financial planning. The wedding is on hold indefinitely. I'm already looking at places I can afford on my own, and honestly, I might end up renting a trailer. And no, I'm not covering for him or lying on his behalf. I told him straight up that hiding things is what got us into this mess, and he doesn't get to keep secrets if he wants to stay with me. We have to be honest about our financial situation, whether it embarrasses him or not. I think that with real effort, we can both end up in a better place. We need to get out of debt, and for a while, I'll be the one steering things, because he's never lived frugally a day in his life. If all goes well, we'll make it. I'm not planning to walk away as long as he sticks to what we've discussed and actually takes real steps forward. I love this man. I want to fight for what we have. But if he starts avoiding things again, keeps hiding stuff, or stops respecting me, I'm gone. I truly believe we can get through this. I know he's capable of more, and I know he wants to change. Now, he just has to prove it. Comment 2. Another person told me not to ignore his family's influence. If I marry him, I'm marrying them too. And if they're toxic and damaging to his mental health, we have to consider whether going no contact is necessary. And if not, then he needs to do some serious work to fix the impression they have of me, or at the very least shield me from their nonsense. Oop. His family doesn't like me for several reasons. They don't like that I don't have a college degree. They don't like that I grew up low income and went to public school. And they really don't approve of the fact that I'm religious. His mother especially. She's called me a hick, a redneck, and a few other things I'm not even going to write out. But up until this point, he's always been good about defending me. Update number 2. More than 20 months later, we're out of debt. And God, it feels incredible to say that, and to finally have it be true. But 3 days ago, we made the last payment, every dollar. We're finally standing on solid ground again. Almost 2 years ago, I wrote a post about my fiancé. He was 26 then, he's 28 now, wanting us to split everything 50-50, and how I told him that if he wanted that, our lifestyle had to change. Not long after that, I found out he had stopped taking his medication and had managed to rack up almost $100,000 in debt trying to create a life we simply couldn't afford on a combined income of $155,000 a year. It was rough. There were moments when I almost walked away. But we made it. For real this time. I handle the finances now. 100% of them. I literally give him a budget for buying coffee. It wasn't fun, but in exchange, he started doing more around the house, so it evened out. We moved out of our ridiculous luxury apartment and into shared housing. It's not perfect, but it's miles better than my original plan of living in a trailer. We do have roommates, but they're on another floor, so it's tolerable. And we have our own bathroom. That was my one non-negotiable. We've been living like a couple that makes $70,000 a year, splitting everything 50-50, and every extra penny he earned went straight to paying off the debt. We sold the cars, traded them in for a used Ford Maverick and a Vespa. And honestly, that helped a lot. No more fancy vacations, no more restaurants with $500 checks. At first, it was really hard on my fiancé. He's always been a rich boy, and losing that identity was a big adjustment for him. But he became incredibly creative. If he can't buy me something, he makes it. Our room is full of little things he's built for me, and it's honestly beautiful. We're still in love. We're still going strong. And now, finally, we can start planning our wedding again. First, we want our own place, and then the wedding comes next. I'm so happy we stuck through this. Being on the other side is the best feeling in the world. Thank you to everyone who offered advice. I don't know how things would have turned out if I hadn't stood my ground back then, and I'm genuinely grateful to the people who pointed me toward Dave Ramsey and Caleb Hammer. You're all amazing. Bottom line, we did it. We are officially debt-free. Voiceover, comments. Comment from Imheard Papley. Huge congratulations. You carried an enormous emotional and financial load, and I'm so glad he proved to be a real partner through the bad and the good. It's wonderful to hear you're still in love. I hope your wedding is fun, because you already seem to have the marriage part figured out. Oop. Oh, the wedding is definitely going to be fun. We're planning a church ceremony, and then a murder mystery reception. It won't be huge, maybe 70 guests, but it's going to be amazing.
And that's where the story comes to an end. Let me know in the comments what you think. Whose side are you on and why? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being here with us, and I'll see you in the next one.